Rob, nice to see you again. You've had a couple of days with the squad by now. I know Wes Burns unfortunately had to withdraw, but apart from that, how's everyone feeling? Everyone okay?
All good, Sioned. All good. We've had 2 great days. It helps. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the results that you want, but it certainly helps. The environment, again, is incredible. Got good staff. The players have come in, they're all fit. Joe Lowe, Wes Burns are the only 2 really that have to pull out through injury. But everybody's fighting fit and raring to go.
I know, of course, every game at this level, every game is important, but does this camp, does it feel just that little bit different considering the magnitude of tomorrow night's game?
I think so. I think you can't help but it to feel a little bit different. We try to keep everything as normal as possible, and the message is it's just the next game, it's just another game. But everybody knows, of course they do, everybody knows the importance of it, and we're 2 wins away from another qualification for a major tournament, and that's quite special. So the good thing is we've been here before, we've been in pressurised situations before, so I think we're understanding how to cope with those situations, and like I said, the experience we've got in the group as well will certainly help with the younger ones who maybe are not being exposed to that. So it feels good at this moment in time.
Just over 24 hours to go until we face Finland. Take us inside the next 24 hours. What will it all look like? What will be your job?
So we've done all the analysis on what we think Finland will do, how we expect them to play with and without the ball. We've trained it today. I'm about to leave this interview and then go back into the meeting room and have a look over the training, and then if we feel the need to show anybody clips of it, we will do. Game plan meeting tonight, that'll be what we think we can win the game, how we can win the game, and then tomorrow will just be, you know, making sure the players get their rest and ready to come out of the traps firing on all cylinders come kick-off.
You've mentioned, of course, we've been in very similar situations before. A lot of similarities have been drawn to the Austria game, the Ukraine game. Is it fair to say this is a slightly different challenge? It's a different game. You haven't got, I guess, all the emotion that was surrounding the Ukraine game. Does it all just feel a bit calmer?
Well, it does, for obvious reasons. You know, that was a tough test for the players. Not the Austria game so much, but the Ukraine game, because of everything surrounding it. And I thought, in the end, we managed it really well. So if they can come through that test, I'm confident 100% they can come through this, because, like I said, some of the senior players, they're exposed to it week in, week out with the demands of the Premiership. Other players in the Championship, similar demands, of course it is. And there's enough experience with the young and old to get through this challenge.
I know players playing regularly for their clubs has always been a big deal for you. You said last week you think this is the healthiest position this squad has been in for a very, very long time. Has that shown in training this week? Do you think, is there a slightly more confident air about certain players? Well,
absolutely. Absolutely. Some of the players have shown, you know, quality that you don't, not normally see, but see consistently then. Others, you know exactly what you're going to get from them. I will say, though, even though previous camps we've not had players playing domestic football, they've still come in and given absolutely everything, and training has been real quality, high standard. So that hasn't changed. But I get what you're saying. There's more players coming in that are confident, that are playing really well at club level, scoring, and there is that air of not arrogance, but that confidence about them. So that can only help us.
I do feel for you, because you've got the incredibly tough task now of deciding who starts tomorrow night, especially looking at that front line, Rob. You've got so many options, so many players just doing incredibly well for their clubs at the moment. It's a problem, but it's a very, very good problem for you to have.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is, Sioned. Yeah, it's a great problem to have. You know, we can't keep everybody happy, of course not. And I am going to have to upset some players, but as a group, they understand it. They understand what's needed. We're going to need everybody. We're going to need all the players. You know, we want it won in 90 minutes. So we're going to need fresh legs at some stage. So everybody's going to play a really important part. We have to look at the profile of the players that we think is going to win us a game as well. So there is a little bit of who's in form, who's playing, who's recently played, who's played well, what games have we caused more problems, looking at the opposition we're up against, what's the profile of their players looking like. So there's many factors as to why you pick the 11 we're going to pick. But ultimately, you know, I'm going to pick a team that I think will go out and win us a game of football.
It feels like balance is quite an important word. Important that you get the balance right in the starting 11 tomorrow.
Yeah, and I've got the team in my head, picked the team that I think is going to go and win us the game and cause as many problems to them as possible.
The captaincy, Rob, of course, Aaron Ramsey's fitness has been in the headlines, a lot of question marks around his fitness at the moment. How is he looking ahead of tomorrow night?
Yeah, he's fine. He's been great. He's been great. You seeing him in training, you wouldn't think he'd been out for a couple of months. So, yeah, not an issue. I don't know what all the fuss was before camp, if I'm being honest. I think communication's never been better. We're based in the same building, so you know we had probably eyes on him every single day. He had one-on-ones with the medical team. We know the medical team because they work in our under-21s. The head of medical was my physio at Port Vale years ago, so we've got a great relationship. So I think if there's a breakdown in communications between their manager and the medical team, if I'm being honest, so I don't know what the fuss was about. We're happy we had him fit. If anything, we've done him a favour by getting him fit sooner than later. So ultimately, it's good that he's involved, and not just for what he brings on the pitch, because like I said, there is now strong competition for places at the top end of the pitch. So it's what he brings off it as well, and a calmness about him. And even watching him in training in small set of games, it's, you know, he's still got tons of ability.
And I guess, how lucky are you to have the option of Aaron Ramsey, an iconic name in Welsh football, and Ben Davies, who's been at who's Spurs' longest serving player at the moment, been there for 10 years, the steady Eddie, the calm head. I mean, to have the option of both of them, that's a pretty privileged position to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I do appreciate that I've got two unbelievable pros. You know, I named Aaron as the captain, but Ben's the vice captain, and when Aaron's not about, Ben steps up, and he's made for that role. Ben is made for that role, absolutely, and you know, and he will be a captain one day, absolutely. And then you've got the people like the 23-year-old in Ethan Ampadu that's wearing the armband at Leeds, and the experience that he's got and such a mature head. And we've got a good balance. We absolutely have. From the young ones all the way through, we've got, you know, the Harry Wilsons of the world. We've got some good players, good pros as well in that changing room.
Finland, Rob, you've mentioned you've done all your homework, you've done all the analysis. So what are you expecting from them tomorrow night?
Well, an extremely tough game, Shauna. They're here for a reason. You don't fluke your way into a position like this. So they're here because they're a good outfit. They've got a front three that cause problems, no end of problems. So we have to respect that and deal with that first and foremost. We know if we match the values that we did at home against Croatia, at home against Turkey, away against Croatia, if we match those values and standards that we've set, the result will take care of itself. I'm confident of that. But we have to be at it from the first minute, because if not, we'll get found out.
Because unlike Wales, who have, you know, now qualified for a good few major tournaments, they qualified for the Euros for the first time in 2020. So they're looking to get there for only the second time. So you can't underestimate the prize that's up for grabs.
No. Trust me. Like when you're a professional footballer, you don't just roll over and admit defeat to a better team. They'll fight, absolutely, and we'll respect that. They've got a good team, and they're hungry for the success like we are. So it'll make for an entertaining game.
I know, of course, tomorrow night and then potentially Tuesday as well. So I definitely don't want to look too far ahead. But the fact that we're looking at potentially qualifying for a fourth major tournament within the space of 10 years, Rob, that's something that some people wouldn't even have dreamed of, you know, a good couple of decades ago. It's pretty special, isn't it? Myself
included. I was a supporter back then. And having played for Wales, I said to some of the press last night that, you know, we were happy to win a game, let alone qualify for a major tournament, Sean. And when I played, we were playing in front of 10,000, not the 35 that we're going to get tomorrow night. You know, and rightly so. I'm not having a dig at the supporters there. There was nothing to cheer at. There was nothing to shout about. So, you know, we've come so far in such a short space of time. The fourth one potentially in 10 years is incredible. And like I said, what we did in 2016 made us realise that we can do this. We're all right. We invested the money wisely, give us better facilities, and we're here for a reason again. We're 2 wins away from a fourth major tournament, which is incredible. But the mindset of the players has changed as well. They've had a taste of it, and they want more of it. And when you've got the balance right with that and the hunger to do it, it makes for a good environment.